What is up, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I wanted to give my opinion and my thoughts on Innocence in Disgaea 7 and the changes they made to them. Some people, they really don't like it. They think Innocents are irrelevant and not useful anymore. And personally, I still think they're useful. They're just different, and I'm okay with the changes, I guess, because it kind of feels a little different. Now that we have item properties, I feel a lot of the powerful innocents we had have gone into the item properties instead, and now it looks like all we have for innocents are stat-boosting innocents. So basically, you can get one stat on them, sometimes you can get double the 2 stats, and they cap at 50k per innocent, so with 8 slots, you can get 400k stats. And that seems to be all innocents are used for, is just stat boosting in the game now. They don't really give you extra powers or abilities on equipment or anything, and that's where the properties come in. Now, I'm okay for them trying new things, plus it does kind of make sense with item reincarnation. That's kind of how you want to do the properties anyway, so if they didn't pull the item properties out of the innocents and make them 2 separate systems, I guess you would have just item reincarnated innocents, but you could have already moved innocents. So I don't know. I don't know how that would have worked. It seems to be just a design decision to kind of pull the 2 apart. But if we look at, equipment on some of my characters, we can see that, so much XP, increase XP received by 25%, stats up, all stats go up by 3. You can see all these different properties that are on the gear. And this is where a lot of the unique innocents were, because if we look at the innocents that are on the gear here, there's none on this one, so we have to go find one that has innocents here. But the innocents, they're just your, bonus stats. They're nothing crazy, that's just how it is. And if you remember in Disgaea 6, 5, 4, any of them, innocents did a little bit more. They were a little more unique and special and had more properties to them. But I think a lot of them are these gold, yellow, glowing skills are some of the really special innocents. And then, all the other properties. And you can have, I think it's 8 properties on equipment too, plus your 8 innocents. So I really do think they just kind of took innocents and divided it, if that makes sense. They cut it in half and made 2 separate systems out of it. And I can understand people not liking it, but innocents are so easy to get now in this game and so easy to farm. I think that's another thing they did, because you could just have some of the best innocents on a piece of gear pretty quickly in Disgaea. And like I said, with item reincarnation now, it definitely seems like I don't even have an item I can reincarnate. It definitely seems like that's kind of the way you're supposed to move gear around. Move the properties around is through reincarnation, and then you just make this awesome strong piece of gear, and then you just get 50k stats worth per innocent on it, and that's how you make like the best gear in the game, because the innocents seem to stay on the gear when you reincarnate it. They don't like move around unless you move them around. So that's just kind of how you got to do it now, I feel. And I can understand, like I said, people being upset about it, not liking it, but I believe they had to do that just to do the item reincarnation system. I don't know, but that's how I see it. So for those of you that think like, we're lacking depth or variety and stuff when it comes to item properties and stuff, we still have them. It's just, like I said, all on the properties. But that's just my opinions, my thoughts. I don't think it's a horrible thing. I'm okay with it. It's just different. It feels different. It's nice to kind of have them change things in Disgaea because, if you've played Disgaea since the beginning, all of the systems relatively remain the same. So it's nice to mix things up and try new things. Maybe in Disgaea 8, they'll go back to having innocents having more power, and they'll just get rid of the properties and everything will be on innocents. We don't know. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. How do you feel? What's your opinion on the changes to innocents and how they're just stat innocents now and there's no properties on them or any kind of special effects? I would love to know your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, later guys. Peace out. Have a good one.